Page 64, A Viennese Melody, a nice little arrangement of a well-known melody. I look it over, it's 2 pages long, sort of. Treble bass clef, at least to start. One flat in the key signature, so it's either in F major or D minor. If you look at the bottom of page 65, the last measure, you're here. It's an F major chord, I guess we're in F major. However, go ahead and do the scales and arpeggios for F major and D minor. And how much of those you do depending on what you've been able to do in the past. So take those just a little bit at a time. Like 1 octave first, and if you can do that okay, then 2 octaves as on the scale and the arpeggio, each one, whichever. A 3/4 time signature, and we're coming in on a pickup measure because there's only 1.5 counts in the first measure. So technically, there should be 1.5 counts in another measure somewhere else. Now, if you look at the last measure, the bottom of page 65, that has 1.5 counts. So we're coming in on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. So right hand first. Now, the fingering style that I use and teach, I like to have a fingering that allows me to connect the notes as much as possible with the fingers. Not all teachers use that fingering style. They don't teach that fingering style necessarily, but that's what I was taught in college, and that's what I did. It's a more reliable, especially if you start getting nervous. And that's what I want to do here, so I have some fingering suggestions. Starting at the beginning here, and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Dotted rhythm. Just make sure that 16th note is a short note. And in the first full measure, those 8th notes, it's between both stabs. You got to use both stabs together in order to get 3 counts. Because neither staff actually has a full 3 counts in it. But if you take them together, it is. So the left hand's helping out on some of those. And they say a 4 in the next measure here. You can use 5 if you want. You don't have to use 4. That's okay. Just stay there. But measure 3, you still need the thumb on the A. So you might have to skip a finger. Measure 7, I just come on down, cross over. And then they want a 1-3. I disagree. I would do a 3-5 here. This prepares for what's coming. Here. You don't want to be up here and have to go down here. You just want to be here to begin with. And the left hand's going to do the C sharp D, and you go. And then going on, a measure 10, they want you to come up here. I'd rather not. I'm going to just stay here. Here, going on, it's a 5-3. I want to be in this position. So in measure 11, it's a 3-5. Again, this prepares me for what's coming. Did all that in that hand position. And then you just continue. On measure 16, I am going to go ahead and use thumb on both. Because I want to do that. Here. And measure 17, I do the first one with 4-5 and then 3-5. And measure 18, you can use 4 if you want. You don't have to use 3. Just reach up. And if you can reach this, use 2 on the G. If you can't, you got to use thumb. Because I need thumb for the half note. So, make sure on measure 19 you hold the half note down. And then on these, just cross over the little finger and go 4. We do this a lot. I mean, you can cross over the thumb. You can cross over the little finger too. Sometimes you don't have to cross around doing it. If you'll relax, the little finger will move over a little bit for you. So just reach out here. Then here. 1 through 5. Same thing. Now here you pretty much got to come up. I use a 4. This is measure 22. I use a 4. Here. The squiggly line, I'll come back to that later. And then a 3. And then, but on the C's, you're going to need a C, a little finger again. This is similar to measure 19. Now, for the next to the last measure, though, there's no real good fingering here. You just need to try and figure. You can do this and this and this, or this, and then cross over. Use thumb as your pivot and cross over here, and then here. It's a little easier. You don't move around as much. Left hand, let's see what it's up to. First full measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Measure 3. They want a thumb. I'd rather not. Yuck. Just do the half note with 2 on. And then a here. And then I want a 5. So again, measure 3. So it's a 2 1 and then a 2 3, and then a 5-1. I think that's easier than what they're trying to get you to do, and then you do it again. Now measure 7, you can go ahead and use the thumb if you want. Or if you want to connect them, just do that. Do that. It's a little awkward. But don't shy away from stuff because it's awkward, because you kind of need to develop that eventually so it's not so awkward. But you can go ahead and use thumb if you'd rather. And then we do it again. Except in measure 9, and they're not quarter notes now. 1 and 2 and 3. And that last, that's just an 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So measure 11, they're saying 4-2. I'm out of position if I do that. So I'm going to do a 5-3 there. So starting back on measure 10 here, and here, 5-3, and then I'm ready. Do 5-2 on that so I don't have to move far. Just make sure you're holding these half notes down, 2 beats. I keep doing this. Walking down using 1 and 2 here. You can use 3rd finger on that because you're coming off of here to here. That's 3, not 4. Last line at the bottom, measure 21, you're just here. Again, a 2 on the C because the thumb needs to come up here and we're saving it. If you use thumb here, you have to come all the way up here. 2. Down, and then a treble clef for that note. You come up here. Which fingers you use? Probably 1 and 2 for me, so I don't have to move as far. They want 2 and 4. I don't care. Just finger it. And then bass clef again. If your hand's big enough, you use 3 on the G. Otherwise, it's 2. 5 and 2 on the last. So the fingering is a bit tricky in here, and that's going to cause some problems, and we'll deal with those. Then I try putting the hands together, and I'll hesitate, but that's okay. That's part of putting the hands together. We'll deal with the hesitations later. And here. And one thumb. That's by itself. That's so the left hand comes out. Then here. Let's take a look at measure 9. 1. When I play, this is all down. And then it comes up. See, those 3 eighth notes are by themselves. And then measure 13. Now that B natural is good for the rest of the measure. So all of those B's are natural. Here. Here. Anyway, I put the hands together, And then I'll go back over it just a few measures at a time, like 1 or 2 measures at a time, and I'll work out the hesitations. Now, once you have the hesitations worked out for a little piece of it, don't keep playing it. Put it aside. Only play the stuff that you have hesitations on until you get rid of them. Then once you get rid of all the hesitations, then you go back and put it all together. But don't keep playing stuff you can play when you're trying to learn other stuff. It's kind of a waste. Focus on what you can't play and then go put it together. Then I'll think about the articulation. This is very connected, pretty much. As best you can. You can lift up for the phrasing if you can find it, like in the second full measure. If you want to lift up here, you got to hold that down. It's a quarter note. Like taking a breath. And then in measure 4, lift up. It's a new phrase. Like taking lift up. Lift up. Lift up. Lift up. It's like every couple of measures or so is a new phrase. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, it's pretty connected. Now, you do have a few accents occasionally you have to watch out for, like measure 27. Play that a little louder. And this curved line, wiggly line there on measure 28, that is an arpeggiated chord where the 4 notes are played one at a time. Not rhythmic or nothing, just whoop, here. And I do the bottom note on the beat. And then 3, 3. And the fermata, you hang on to that for a bit. Linger on that note. Because you're not going to go boo boo. No, you go low, hold on to that, and then go on. You can hang on to that left hand if you want. It's a quarter note. And then. Once I have the articulation under control, then I'll think about the dynamics. Applies to the melody. Most of the time is in the right hand. Moderately loud, mezzo forte. This left hand needs to be in the background. The first full measure, that's all melody. So that last note in the left hand, that's melody. It's got to sound like the right hand played it. Swell. Go up to loud and then back down to moderately loud. And then the swell. So add the dynamic. Then I think about the speed. Andante con moto. They give you feel it. These eighth notes are almost like quarter notes in the sense there's actually words to this, and there's a word or a syllable with each eighth note. So it's you're singing it. So I don't take it nearly as fast as what they're telling at 84. That's too fast. I like to slow this down and make it more like a love song or a schmaltzy, emotional experience. It's a felt thing. What do you think it should be? You do slow down at the end. Now they've added pedal, and of course we do need pedal. We need pedal to give us the overtones on the longer held notes and the more important notes, the stressed notes more or less, and to help us connect notes that we can't connect with the fingers. Remember, if you're going to use pedal, why are you using it? Just because the music says so? No. Understand what it's for. And then try what the music is telling you to do with the pedal. But if you don't like that sound, then change it. So it's going to be lag pedal. So the notes go down first and then the pedal. Here. And I'm going to lift the pedal with the next eighth note. Here, even though I still have that down. Here. If you want to hear the phrasing, lift the pedal with the hands. See what we're doing here with the pedal, like a measure 3. And the pedal is helping bring out the rum part. This part. And the measure 4, it's a longer held note. We're giving it color. That's basically the style of the pedaling throughout. On the last line on page 65 here, see all these repeated, I want to connect them. And here I need the pedal for the overtones and to help me connect these notes. But here, yeah, I don't know. You can try changing the pedal on the third beat. This is measure 22. If you don't want that other sound. Or if you want the sound, then pedal it like it's shown. Here. The problem is we're coming down to very soft. And when we come down to very soft, we want to get rid of all the extra stuff. We don't want a lot of sound. So you're here, softer, softer, very soft. I would like to get rid of that other sound. So I'm going to change the pedal on the third beat, I think. Here. And then lift it up as I play the note in the next measure. Overlap it. And connect these C's. I want to connect them. And then lift up for the next one. And then here. So in the last 3 measures, I'm pedaling there, and then I'm changing on the third beat, and then I'm changing again for the next measure. Lift up for this accidental C sharp, and change. I don't know why they want the pedaling marked in the last 2 measures. Here, it should be a change pedal. It's like a little arrow, a little caret thingy, like in the previous line when they did that. I want the same thing here. So it's here. Because it's very soft here. I want to get rid of all that other sound. Now I'm going to pedal this measure like I did measure 19. And change pedal at the end. It's kind of a personal thing. It's interpreting the music. How you use the pedal, that's all part of interpreting. So you have to decide. Actually, if you have a teacher, they will tell you what you like and tell you how they want it pedaled. But to me, you just need to listen to the music and experiment with the pedal. Is that the sound I really want? Remember the natural accents? First beat of the measure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. If you can, on a piece like this that kind of flows like this, sometimes the natural accents can almost get in the way. But you still want to kind of feel that 1, 2, 3, 1. So at the beginning, those first 3 notes sound like pickup beats. Go on to here. On to here. Otherwise, the listener will think that first note is it. But that's beat 1. And it'll sound off to them. And the what? Until you get into it, and then they can pick up the idea of where the first beat is. But just make it land on that note. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs. The fermata, I'm going to hold that one extra beat because of the fermata. I have to time it to stay with the metronome. Otherwise, you just hold it as what feels right, which would be longer than a beat, I think. I'll give us 1.5 counts. Ready and go. And because there's eighth notes everywhere, I'm going to put the metronome on eighth notes. Ready and go.